And then, of course, those that are in their feelings, they're picking up all this instinct from everybody. So they can get confused about whether or not all these feelings and emotions are coming from them, or is it coming from the people around you? Because I told you, it's all about energy. Everything is energy. And so our thoughts are the main thing that is causing all of this disruption and causing all this chaos because of what we are thinking about or not thinking about.
Welcome to the Evolution of the Consciousness podcast. Love is spoken here. With your host and guide, Msmichellecarithers.
Morning, everybody. Evolution of the Consciousness. Love is spoken here. I'm msmichellecarithers. I thought I'd come on through on this Saturday, November the 25th, 2023, and put some sounds in your ear. I hope everybody's doing fantastic, magnificently, and marvelous, because I am. I'm doing fantastic. Let me adjust myself in my chair here. Yes, I'm doing fantastic. I'm getting up this morning, doing my routines, handling my business. And what I usually do is I usually have so many topics I want to talk about and so many things I wanted to share. But at the same time, I know I need to refrain from certain information right now and not overload the consciousness. Because I noticed that, like I said, a lot of people are going to be coming forward. I mean, more so than we've ever had before. And what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people are going to be coming forward, sharing their opinions, sharing their theories, giving you some information, hopefully, about their situation or situation specifically, possibly. And I told you it's so healthy for you to consider all angles of conversation so that you can change your mode of thinking and be able to discern properly and at the same time elevate and stretch whether it's your imagination, stretch your fantasy, see things in the abstract, concrete, subjective, objective, sort of stretch your saturation of all the information that's going to be out there. And, and I told you also, which is most importantly, to take it off the personal and make it impersonal. And I'm telling you, once you do that, you'll be surprised what resonates towards you and what doesn't. Okay. You'll be able to pick up the sounds and tones that have value to you and the sounds and tones of desperation from a lot of people. And what do I mean by that? Well, there are several people that are coming forward that, that are skilled in auditory. And what do I mean by that? They're skilled in how to convince you, persuade you, use command words. They usually have this unnatural sense of urgency. And a lot of them have been crying wolf for decades. Crying wolf by telling you about end of days and that you need to repent and you need to there's a lot of condemnation out there. That's my point. And that's natural as well. And it's acceptable. I don't see any reason why anyone cannot just come out and put it out in front of everybody what your intentions are and what your purpose. And that way, a lot of people in one swipe can be eliminated. And what I mean by eliminated, their rhetoric, their intentional discord, their intentional confusion. And I also said a while ago when I was on, I can't remember which social media platform I was on, but I was just kind of paying attention to how the conversations are going, because that's what I do. I told you I'll sit back and I kind of observe and monitor and kind of see if I can pick up the rhythm of any type of conversation per se before I kind of step in. I just don't step in and start, going back and forth. I kind of want to figure out, okay, what is really going on? And that's how I am in person as well. In person, I'm skilled at understanding what's going on around me because I put so much effort into that, and meditation helps. In person, I can be a little awkward and weird about certain environments I'm in. I'm going to be real honest with you about that until I know for a fact that I feel safe and comfortable, because there's just so many moving parts, so many moving parts. So as a visual person, there like that's more literal than anything. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people moving around. There's a lot of crowds. There's traffic. And then if you're an auditory person, you listen to all these sounds and tones. And in most cases, unfortunately and sadly, a lot of auditories do not pay attention too much to what's going on around them because they're so consumed with other sounds and tones. And so they usually get into a lot of issues of pedestrian accidents and this and that and the other. And then, of course, those that are in their feelings, they're picking up all this instinct from everybody. So they can get confused about whether or not all these feelings and emotions are coming from them or is it coming from the people around you? Because I told you it's all about energy. Everything is energy. And so our thoughts are the main thing that is causing all of this disruption and causing all this chaos because of what we are thinking about or not thinking about. So it's a lot of work to develop yourself, but I'm telling you, it's worth it because you do see the results. So that's why I'm not too concerned about when someone comes out and they attempt to counter me, what I say, or counter other people, or go out and think they're supposed to be correcting people and going out condemning people and making these extreme assumptions and judgments about people. That's going to be natural, is my point. So I wanted to say to those that are in this reality and they are grounded in their reality, they understand what's going on because they're not taking things personally. Okay. They're just kind of, filtering out what's being actually said and being able to make proper decisions about what they sense and receive, the sensing and receiving, what they're hearing, what they're seeing, and how they feel about a situation. In other words, they have all of their sensing that's always there and naturally helping to guide them and to navigate them through all of this. It's like walking through a crowded street, I'm telling you, where everybody's attempting to sell you something. Just imagine that you're walking down a roadway, and on each side of you, and even in front of you and in back of you, people are attempting to sell you something. They want your attention. They're grabbing at you, similar to what we do to these celebrities. We're just pulling at them and screaming and, wanting this celebrity's attention and this and that and the other. And usually celebrities that go through that type of experience, they turn out to be a wreck. You know what I mean? It's because that's just unnatural uh, interaction with each other. We're not supposed to just worship people that way and invade their space like that. It does cause some damage, more so to the consciousness. So again, I remember I told you, a long time, some time ago, I was in a major city, in a grocery store parking lot, and I saw a celebrity, and I thought I had the right, to run up to her and attempt to blah 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 blah. And I know it frightened her because I saw it in her eyes. And then once she saw what I was wearing, she felt safe, because I was in a uniform. But at the same time, I saw the fear in her eyes, and I vowed that I would not ever do that again, and I have not. And I've seen many celebrities. I've seen all these so-called well-known people, whether they're journalists, whether they're, whatever their titles are, and the title we give to them to make them this hero or this false leader. I've seen them all. Okay. And I'm sure some of us have as well. I'm not running up to people to get their autographs. Remember we used to do that back in the day. But my point is that we have disturbed the consciousness of so many people, and more so disturbed the consciousness of ourselves because of our actions and behavior. Now, just imagine, okay, that you were that celebrity and you're walking down the roadway and all that kind of activity is going on around you where people are screaming at you, yelling at you, spitting at you, wanting to harm you, wanting to love you, wanting to rape you, wanting to, all of these kind of things going on, all simultaneous. I mean, all in one split second. You have all of this all on you. Well, that's the perils of overpopulation, and that's what we all are experiencing. But we are not putting that together. We're not putting those pieces together. We're not filling in the missing pieces. That is what's happening to all of our consciousness. If you want to look at that literally, figuratively, and metaphorically, we're being crashed and we're being invaded. We're being torn to pieces in our consciousness. And that's what I'm hoping to help to repair some of the damage that's done. For some people, the damage is irreparable. And, in either they are stuck in a delusion, stuck in hallucination, stuck in their fantasies, or they are, so extreme till they just, they're extreme to an extreme measure where they are not, you can't rescue them, or vice versa, radical, wherever, they're just extreme and their behavior is extreme. So that's why you see a lot of people that have dealt with that type of environment lose all of it, lose everything. And more so, they lose their minds. And they have to be medicated to bring themselves back to some type of normalcy. Okay? That is what's happening to our consciousness. But the people, you may not see the people, you may not see the crowds, but the same damage is happening. Just as it would to if you see a celebrity having everybody all over them, screaming at them, attempting to grab them, wanting their autographs, wanting to take pictures with them, wanting to this and that. That is what's happening to our consciousness. We have all of this interference, and it's hard to find your way through a crowd like that. How, unless you become violent, and that's usually the result as well. People become violent and they're attempting to get out of that chaos, get out of that destruction. But usually the fans turn on you. Let's go back to the celebrities and the fans. The fans will just imagine 1 million people grabbing at you, wanting your attention, wanting you to take a picture with them. And this goes on all day long. All right. That is what's happening to our consciousness. We have all of that kind of invisible activity going on all day long. And it's a result of our thoughts, okay, and the invasion of our becoming unconscious and not realizing the energy of everyone's thoughts is affecting us as well. The energy of everyone's behaviors and actions is affecting us as well. So you have to take it off the personal and consider, if you were in that crowd, how would you handle yourself differently? If it were happening to me, I would calmly make my way out of it. Okay. And, it depended on the threat to me. I may have to use some force, but at the same time, trust me, I will peacefully, within myself, of course, get myself out of that situation. Okay. And that means I have to be creative. And that's what's going to take for all of us when we're attempting to grab a hold of ourselves and ground ourselves. You have to be creative. Okay. So I'm going to do everything in my power to help. Okay. As will be others. But I just want to let you know, you have to stay vigilant, because there are people, like I said, coming out of the woodworks. They're feeling desperate. They want you to stay with them. They don't want you to walk that path by yourself, even though there's a whole lot of us around us. Listen to me again. Visualize being in a group, being in the middle of 1 million people. You're in the center of that. And they're grabbing at you, grabbing at each other, yelling, screaming, and you know that you need to get out of there. What will you do? Now, again, that's something to consider visually, and ask yourselves, if that were happening to me, how would I get out of that? Okay, when there's no one around you to assist you, It's not like there's not necessarily known violence towards you, but at the same time, you're still in the middle of a million people and you need to get out of there. What will you do? How would you handle that? Okay, so that's the work that you have to apply to your consciousness. You have to figure out how to creatively get yourself out of this and safely get back on your path and be on your way. Okay, so I hope that brings some smiles to your face, give you something to have fun with, not to take stuff so personally, not to be so extreme and so radical. Enjoy these moments because, again, the damage has been done. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more probably, later in the week, and to understand what that means and how you can easily as well still live a beautiful, rich, uh, uh, properly abundant life, even in the midst of all of that. When I said the damage is done, okay? So I want to go ahead and send peace and love to everyone all over the stars and moon and mountains. Evolution of the consciousness. Love is spoken here. My name is Michelle Carithers.
Thank you so much for listening to the Evolution of the Consciousness podcast. Please make sure to leave us a review. If you wish to ask a question to Michelle, you can leave her an email at msmichellecarithers@gmail.com.